for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922. 800-375-2922.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. Do not forget to buy lentils, or the lentil soup you're making for dinner will be sorely lacking. By the way, Mrs. Calloway says thanks for helping her bundle home and auto. She appreciates the extra savings, even though you kept using the word apropos incorrectly. But the main thing is do not forget to buy, what was it? Something apropos the lentil soup. Sorry, I'll call you back.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Warning, if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-900-6131. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-900-6131. That's 1-800-900-6131. 1-800-900-6131.
Right now at Findlay Volkswagen, we're having our Sign Then Drive event. Meet me at Findlay Volkswagen at the Valley Auto Mall in Henderson.
On approved credit, excludes tax, title, license options, and dealer fees. 12,000 miles per year. See dealer for details. Offer expires 5/31/19.
Findlay Volkswagen.
Dave Cokin with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So give me a rundown on maybe a typical treatment at LPT.
Sure, Dave. On an initial consult, we'll sit down with the patient for at least 10 or 15 minutes, get a history of their injury or their condition. Then we'll move into an assessment where we put our hands on the patient, take them through a few special tests to identify what the pain source is and what the actual injury is. Then we'll use some modalities like heat and electric stimulation to reduce their pain and muscle spasms. And typically our physical therapist or assistant will do some type of manual stretching, massage therapy, or range of motion on that patient. And after the initial visit, we typically see patients 2 to 3 times a week for 4 to 6 weeks.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'.
I have to remind myself to call and find out if the Copper River sockeye salmon has come in yet, because in fact, Scott Spreitzer texted me before the show. Friend Scott wanted to say, did that sockeye salmon come in yet? It's really good. I mean, it's just, if you like salmon, it's the best salmon you'll ever eat. But it's only in for a short run each year, so don't rely on me. Call Joe's yourself and find out at 702-792-9222. What's our Joe's angle of the day, Teddy?
So it's WNBA time, right? And this is a good one because it's way under the radar, and yet it might be meaningful. L.A. Sparks, 30-5 to the under, their last 35 at home.
Wow.
You got a total of 165 versus Connecticut tonight. So if you like WNBA and you like riding under the radar angles, this one's cashed 30 times in 35 tries. Under for the Sparks tonight.
Lyons Physical Therapy sponsors our play of the day each and every day. And John Lyons, the head man from Lyons Physical Therapy, gets in every once in a while to talk some sports with us. And I thought this would be a good day to do so because we've got a great announcement to make as far as Lyons Physical Therapy is concerned. And we've got the Kevin Durant situation, which is really now starting to get really interesting as far as the NBA title is concerned. What's going on, John? How are you?
I'm great, Dave. Thanks for having me in. Good to see you, Teddy, as well.
So let's first get the announcement out because you're moving to our neighborhood. Not moving, you're establishing another location here in this part of town.
Correct. Yes, Dave. Monday, June 3rd, we're opening our second location. It's on Durango between Sahara and Desert Inn. We'll be doing the same work there, just different therapists. brand new state-of-the-art equipment, and it gives a little more access to the southwest, Summerlin, and northwest areas of town.
And that really is significant for people who are having a rehab surgery or injury because, the less travel involved, the better.
Exactly. When someone's hurt or whether it's a post-surgical case, you want something that's close to home so you're not driving too long, and this gives people better access to those areas of town. And that's what we have in mind with physical therapy, since patients typically come in at least 2 to 3 times a week for 6 to 8 weeks.
You know what it also indicates? That you're doing something right, because you're not going to open a second location if the first one's not coming through for people. So this is a great opportunity for a 5-star rated, and you can go see the ratings for yourself. They're on, just do a Google search. 5-star rated therapy for something that you can't let go unchecked.
Right, yeah, and we have a great staff, and I attribute the majority of that to just having great people in our company, from our front office staff to all of our physical therapists, all of our assistants. I've had great luck just finding great people and great professionals, and that's a testament to all the good reviews that we've had over the years.
Some of them are professional athletes, too. You do deal with professional athletes on a regular basis, so you know something about the injuries and travails that they can go through. So let's talk a little about Kevin Durant, because we saw this injury take place, and the immediate guess that was out there was, oh, that's it, Achilles. And the team was insistent it's not an Achilles, it's a calf. Okay, well, I guess he'll probably be out for a couple of games. A couple of games is giving way to a lot of games. So explain why a calf injury like this is so debilitating and why you can't get back on the floor.
Sure, absolutely. And there's a lot of similarities between an Achilles injury and a calf injury. There's 2 main muscles that merge together, form a tendon, which is the Achilles tendon. And the big muscle is the gastroc, and that's the muscle where apparently, from what we know, Kevin Durant strained. And by definition, a strain is a partial tear of the muscle. So there's significant damage to the muscle itself. There's a lot of inflammation in there, which limits the player's ability to jump, to shoot, to cut, laterally and vertically move. And these injuries are very similar to a hamstring or a groin injury, which just heal very, very slowly.
And the thing is that it's one of those injuries where it's like if you break something, I'm not saying you should play through it, but you really can't do a whole lot more damage if it's already broken. But something like this, and we hear this all the time with hamstrings and groins, is if you don't let them heal completely, you can make it a lot worse by getting out there and getting back in action. So, they have to be cautious, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, because obviously Kevin Durant is, a cornerstone of any franchise in Golden State. They have to look into the future and don't want to rush him back, despite this being the NBA Finals. But this type of injury can lead to a more severe strain of the gastroc, or it could even lead to an Achilles tear if this isn't taken care of properly.
And now you're talking 12 months if that happens, or more.
Well, for a guy like Kevin Durant, and you're talking hundreds of millions of dollar difference if that happens,
Absolutely. And once these injuries happen, it takes time for it to heal, despite these guys being in rehab for hours and hours a day. And he's just trying to avoid anything long-term and career-ending.
So give me an idea, and obviously you're not there, so it might be a little bit different, but give me an idea of what his rehab process on a daily basis, what's taking place.
At this point, to my knowledge, he's not doing any basketball activity. So that means he's spending the majority of his time in the training room. So he's doing everything from heat, electric stimulation, ultrasound to increase fresh blood flow to the area to help the healing process. He has physical therapists, athletic trainers, massage therapists doing manual work on the muscle and the tendons themselves. They're using probably anything from dry needling to Graston tools to break up any scar tissue that's formed. He's probably, at this point, just starting some progressive strengthening, plyometrics, maybe, and just trying to get the inflammation down, rebuild some of the flexibility and strength in that area. Because from what I've heard and what I've seen, he's still limping, and he's not even able to sprint, jump, and cut, which is essential to him playing.
So when we hear, well, he might be ready for, Game 4, that doesn't sound like it's even possible, does it?
It's possible, but he's certainly not going to be 100% by Game 4. But Kevin Durant at 70 to 80% is better than most people other than Kawhi Leonard in this series.
But if you're Durant, do you get back on the floor at 80% when you're a free agent in 3 games anyway? And,
It's something
let me ask you this. Is that a decision that he's going to get to make, or is that the decision that a doctor is going to make for him?
In order for him to even consider playing, he has to be cleared by the medical staff, which will be a doctor and the athletic trainer or physical therapist. Once he's cleared by that staff, then it becomes the coach and Kevin Durant making the decision whether it's worth him to play or not. If they go into Game 4 down 0-3, he's probably not playing. But it ultimately will be his decision and Coach Kerr's decision once he's cleared by the medical staff. So there's 2 steps to it. Step 1 is the medical staff clearing him, medically able to play, but him playing is ultimately up to him and Coach Kerr. We saw this years ago when Derrick Rose got hurt. He was cleared medically to play, but he sat out weeks and even months, if I remember correctly.
Yes, and got ripped for it. But
we're talking life-changing money for him and his family. So this is a little different than you and I going to play on a weekend.
I don't know if you heard about this. Carlos Correa cracked ribs getting a massage. Look, I don't know how it happened. You've been in the business for a long time now. Give me a couple of them.
How does that happen?
Well,
here's my thought on that. This is probably a little off on a tangent, but I don't know what his contract says. My guess is he might have been doing something that would maybe null and void part of his signing bonus or his contract, and maybe that didn't happen truly during a massage, and he's trying to cover something. I've never heard in my entire career, which is almost 20 years, of a rib being fractured during a massage. We've heard of things with doing a manipulation on the spine where you can fracture a rib, but never during a massage. I don't know how it's possible.
It seems strange to me, but weird injuries happen. Give me without naming any names, obviously, give me a couple of the really weird ones that have come through Lyons physical therapy over the years that just you can't be serious.
I can give you one that I can talk about on the air. There's others I'm going to keep off the air for obvious reasons.
Thank you.
I've seen a couple injuries where people tell me, and they're being truthful, where they've woken up in the middle of the night and they've injured themselves falling out of bed. Just completely, just not standing up, just fell out of bed, landed on their side or their shoulder. That's one that comes to mind that I can talk about at this point.
So I remember laughing when a guy went on the DL for sneezing. I don't remember who it was, but he sneezed and then I sneezed.
Who's the guy years ago who injured his eye while sleeping? He slept on it or something.
Yeah,
it was just
was
weird
scratching
stuff.
it while he was sleeping.
The sneezing is much more plausible because that when you have neck or back injury, especially herniated discs, a sneeze will cause you excruciating pain. The hurting your eye sleeping, that's another story.
I'm not going to talk about my most. I had one that it didn't require therapy, fortunately, but I've had a couple of strange ones over the years, and I can't talk about them on the air either. I could, but I'm not going to. All right, so again, grand opening of the new facility is coming up next week.
Yeah, Monday we'll start seeing our first patients over in that at the new office. And you can get in touch with either offices by calling our main number, which is 702-476-0222. Or the easiest way, just check us out online, Lyons, PT, LV. You can get all the information there.
And follow Lyons, PT, LV on Twitter because you guys constantly are posting new stuff that you're doing that's being incorporated into treatment. It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, we try to do it more as an educational piece for the public, just so people can see if they have injuries, what we might be able to do to help them, a little bit background on the anatomy and the physiology of the injury so they can understand it and how we might be able to help them.
All right. Great stuff, John. Appreciate you stopping by, man.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
It's always fun. We'll take a break. We'll come back with our WagerTalk marquee matchup next.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
Hey, it's Dave Cokin with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So, car wrecks, very frequent in Las Vegas. Sometimes serious injuries, some not so serious, but in a lot of cases, there has to be some kind of physical therapy after the accident. Talk about that.
Yes, Dave. We as physical therapists can assess all injuries after a car accident. Sometimes we're the first person to see a patient where we can identify the type of injuries the patient has. We will get them moving better, help reduce their pain,